Okay guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make your product thumbnails using this PSD that you can download in the link below this video. It's sized perfectly for Etsy. It will also work on Shopify. You can use it if you've already got mockups and you want to square, size them up. Perfect for that. I'm also going to show you how you can take Lockerstocks mockups, standard mockups, and you can jazz those up and make them look a lot nicer and a lot more unique. So with that said, once you download, you will also need to install the font. So the font will come with it in that folder, and if you're on Mac then you can double click and that will install the font. If you're on Windows you can right click and install that font as well. It's a free Google font called Anton, so you can change the font up as well if you wanted to do that. So first of all, when you open up the PSD, you will want to make sure you got your layers selected. So come up, if you don't see layers over here, and your Photoshop may look a little different, just come up to window, make sure you got layers checked, and you can uncheck any that you don't want there. It's personal preference, but you definitely need to make sure you got layers selected, so you see this layers panel here. So we can switch on and off any layer by using these eye icons here, like this. Okay, that's just the background which you can't see because there's an image there. So the text here, you can switch it off if you wanted to, and you can change the text by making sure you got the text tool selected on the left here, and then just put your cursor in and add whatever words you want in there. We can also change the color. You see there's it says color overlay here. If you double click that and then click this little box here, this brings you out your color picker. So if you want to change the color of the font, that's dead easy. You can pick it from the palette here, or you can add in your own hex code here if you're matching it up with something. Also, if you move your cursor away from this color palette onto the canvas area, you can actually click and pick a color that's on the screen. So if you're trying to match it up with the color of a design or whatever, then you can just grab the color straight from the screen there. Click OK when you're happy with it. Click OK again. The banner at the bottom here, this orange thumbnail here, again, if you double click that, it brings out this color picker again, so you can change the banner color, add your hex code in when you want the right color, like that. And then for the main background image here, or the mock-up, let's say that you're just you've got some mock-ups, so you're using place it or wherever you want to size them all up correctly. This little tiny thumbnail here, if you click somewhere up in the top left corner, you see there's another little tiny icon there. Don't click that, just click up in the top left or double click. That opens this window here, and then we can grab our mock-up or multiple mock-ups. You can throw them in there. As soon as you drag and drop them in, they'll be in free transform, which means you get these handles. Just grab the center ones and bring it up. If it's over the, you can see the canvas area here. If it's over that, you can move it around. Once you're happy, press return or enter, and then close that tab off and hit save, and that's placed it in there. Now you may or may not want this banner. If you don't want it, it's simple enough. You can switch it off like this, and then this is sized perfectly for Etsy. So if you don't want that, or you could even just have the text on there, you could change the color so it stands out a little bit more, something like that. So you could have the text without the banner as well. Okay, so you can switch those on or off depending on whether you want them, and then that's sized up and it's going to look really good on Etsy or Shopify. So that's one way we can do that. Now the other thing I wanted to show you with this as well is using the print tech ones. So if you go into Lockerstock and go to products here, a lot of these, let's grab a t-shirt. So let's go into t-shirts. So I went to products, not your products. We can come in here and we can grab, let's just grab the white one, download the front. Okay, and then let's grab another product. So we got two. Let's grab a camping mug. Okay, let's download the front of that like so. Okay, and then back to the PSD. If we double click on this main image, little tiny thumbnail up in the top corner, double click that, let's switch that off. So we've got a blank canvas, and then what I'm going to do is grab my mug, drag and drop that onto the canvas. Just going to press return there just to drop it in. I may resize that or move it in a minute. Then I'm going to grab the shirt, I'm going to drop that in. Now if you're actually building this up yourself, say you're using these a lot, you can add all the ones that you use from Lockerstock in there, and then what you can do, this one is the t-shirt. Okay, so you could actually name this, and sorry I did that a bit quick. To name it, if you double click where the words are on these layers, we can actually rename this. So we can go unisex tee, and then we'll double click this one and we can go camping mug, like that. Okay, and then we can switch these on and off at will. So if I close this little tab, hit save, you can see now we've got the camping mug. So then we can double click in there again, and I'm going to use this move tool here, so this will move it around so I can position this where I want it. And if I wanted to change the size, I could press Command T or Control T, and that will put it back in free transform, and I can just drag and move the size. Now I do want it quite big and I want it central, so I'm going to press return. I'm going to close this tab, see how it's looking, and it looks pretty cool there. Now here we got this background layer, so we can double click on the left hand side thumbnail, and we can change the background, just a straight background color if we wanted to. Now I'm not going to do that, I'm going to leave it white. I'm going to go back into this smart object here, and I'm just going to grab a design and put a design on it. Okay, let's grab this one. Okay, I'm just dragging and dropping it again. I'm just going to resize it so that it looks right. Press return or enter when you're finished. Okay, let's just close it and see how it's looking. Hit save. Now this one here, we might want to change up the color of the banner, so I'm going to double click on the banner color picker, and then I'm going to go away from here and I'm going to pick this color here to match. Hit OK. Then I'm going to try the font, and let's try the blue to see how that looks. And let's just try white, so it looks best with white. Hit OK. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now how can we make this look even better? So what I'm going to do is go across to a site called Pexels, where you can get free images from. Now there's tons of other sites, you don't necessarily have to go to Pexels, I forget the names of the others, but you know, it's a free image site. So that's Patriotism. Okay, let's try and find ourselves a nice background image. Okay, yep, there's one right there. That's perfect. Let's download that. Nice and easy. Okay, I'm going to back to Photoshop. I'm going to double click on this layer here again. Now, when you drag and drop a photo image in, whichever layer you've got highlighted, it will go above that layer. So I want this to go behind. So I'm going to highlight the layer at the bottom, and you can do it after, it doesn't really matter too much, but it's just a little bit quicker if you get it right first time. I'm going to drag and drop this image in. I'm going to resize it here so it fills the canvas area. Hit return, close that tab, hit save, and we now have a much better looking thumbnail. So what you can do, if I double click here again, and I'm going to get rid of these two layers here that were already in there. I'm going to highlight them, drag them down to this trash icon, so that's got rid of them. Now what we can do in here, if you're going to use this regularly, you see we added this unisex t-shirt as well, so we can turn off the camping mug, we can turn on the unisex tee, and I'm going to drag it so it's below the design. So this layer is our design layer, and then I'm going to move this design and press Command T or Control T, just reduce the design down a bit like that, hit return. So what happens is, let me just close and save this tab. What we can do here is we can now save this PSD, so the next time we open it and we double click on this little tab, our unisex tee and our camping mug are already here. So all we need to do when we want to change product is just turn the ones on and off. So you'll have your own little thumbnail builder. You can add in whatever mockups you want to get out of Lockerstock. So again, you go to products, you find a product. Let's just grab this one. Let's go for black this time. Let's do a black one. I'll actually run through it. So let's say I want black crew neck in my little thumbnail builder. Make sure, remember I've let me close this. So I double click here on my main image, and then I'm gonna switch off this mug. I'm gonna drag in my next one, which is gonna be my black sweatshirt or crew neck. I like that. Okay, and then double click here, and then let's just say BL crew neck. Okay, now that design is not going to work on there, so let me get the one on dark, drag and drop that in there, resize it, like that. Now that does look a little dark, so I might get a different background image for that one. Okay, it looks hellish dark in fact. And what I'm going to do is double click in here again. This design layer here is highlighted, and what I'm going to try is just turning down the opacity so it looks a little bit more real. I'm going to turn that clean off because it looks a little bit dark in the background. So the opacity is up here, and what I did was highlighted over it. I'm not sure if you can see that, but my cursor goes to a little finger with two arrows. I can then hold down on my trackpad and I can drag left and right to adjust the opacity. Now that looks, as it looks really bright on that black jumper, so I would just turn the opacity down a little bit. Click close on that tab, hit save, and it looks better with a white background, but I may go and find another background that's a lot brighter. Let's just see if there's something that's a bit brighter here. Back up. Yeah, let's just go for this flag. Back to Photoshop, double click. I'm going to highlight this lower layer so that it goes below everything. Drag and drop. Resize. It's still not perfect, but it's a lot better. Close that tab, hit save, and boom, there you go. So it's certainly a lot better, and it's resized and everything. So let's turn these off. All of these off, and let's go ahead and just drop a straight mock-up in there, resize, hit return, close the tab, hit save. So there you go. Hopefully that will be a big help for you guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.